welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a quick video for you and show you how I make stickers for my planner using my Cricut Explore. So what I use for this is I use one of two label types. So these are full sheet Avery shipping labels. So I prefer the clear 8.5 by 11 full sheet, like I said. Sometimes I do use these white ones. So the style numbers or the model numbers are 8165 for the white and 18665 for the clear. These are the ones I prefer, and I'll show you some shots of them. Here's some that I just printed out, and I'll give you an idea of what they look like. So I print them on my home printer, and I'll leave down below I'll leave what printer I use. So what I do is I print them on my home printer. I design them in the Cricut software design space, print them on my home printer, and then cut them on my Cricut. This is on the clear, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Why I prefer the clear ones, if I can get one of these off here. So you'll see they're a little bit transparent, and I like that. I like the look of them in my planner. I like how it prints on them. So, so stay tuned if you want to figure out how to do this if you have a Cricut Explore.
Okay, so here you see this is the layout of the stickers that I just showed you, what they look like on my mat before I cut them. So we're going to go and start a new project, and we're in Design Space. Here we just go under File, go New. I need to save this one here. So here we go. So we're going to get a blank mat, and we are going to go and create some brand new stickers. So I just go right here into the import images, and you'll see there's a whole library here you can search through, and there's a search bar at the top. We're going to use that search bar, and let's search coffee. So here we go. Let's see what comes up. You're going to take a coffee cup, and I subscribe. You can either buy the images. Here it shows the cost of a single image. That one's 99 cents. And I subscribe on a yearly basis, so there are images that are, if it says subscribed, that just means I can use those images because they're part of my subscription. So you just want to select the image you're going to use. You're going to scroll down to the bottom. We'll just see if there's anything else I decide to use here. There won't be. So we'll just scroll through, and you can see there's tons of images to choose from, any theme you can think of. As you saw in the beginning, there were even licensed themes. So we just insert the image, and you can take these arrows here and resize your image by just clicking and dragging to whatever size you like, or you'll see the little gray box there that shows the dimensions, or you can click edit and you can enter the specific dimensions you want to use here by height and width in these boxes. So there is a little lock on the side. You'll see that. Like here, I'm going to change this to 1 inch high. Now, as long as you keep this little lock on the side locked, it won't skew the image, and it will take everything and resize it for it to look good at 1 inch high. So I keep that lock on some images unless I'm doing like a full-size box that I want filled with a pattern or something like that, and then I need to custom size that for the size of the boxes in my planner. Okay, so we're going to go back to the layers page, and you'll see that this image is actually composed of two pieces. One is the coffee cup itself, and one is the sleeve. And like here, I'm going to click to hide the sleeve so you can see that that's the second piece that's laid on top. And you can change the colors of these images solely by clicking on the image itself here, or in this little sidebar here, and you can change them. You'll see a box comes up with all these colors you can choose from. And it also says cut, write, score, or print at the top. So here I am changing the color, and I'm going to change it to print. And this is going to let the Cricut know that you want to actually print this and not cut it like die cutting. So I do this, and I change the colors of this coffee cup, and I set them to print. Then I realize, you know, I don't really like this coffee cup, so I'm gonna, here in a minute, go back into the image library. I'm gonna delete it and just change the image. I really like that first one, and even though it's not in my subscription, I decided it was worth it to pay $1 and use that one. So I'm going to choose this coffee cup. I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm sorry I cut off the recording, so just hit insert image. I'm going to put the image in here, and again I show you that you can resize it. So I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to resize it to the size that I want it to be, which is 1 inch high. Now I'm going to go back to layers, and I'm going to change them to print. So this, you'll see the little scissors on the side of this box here, and that is showing you that it wants to cut. So if I click on it and just click print here on the far right side, changes everything to print. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this to get as many as I want, and I'm just going to line them up on the page here. So we're just going to line them right up. Okay, and now you can go in individually and change the colors of each one. Now since I had already set the one to print, you'll see that all of them say print down the side here, so you don't have to change anything else, and you don't have to change each single one. I changed the first one to print, and then I copied and pasted that one, so it also is still including the print command. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to click and just play around and change the colors on them to colors that I want to use. So sometimes I just choose colors based on spreads, colors I like, or layouts I know I'm going to do, and it's just nice to have some variety, right? So we're just going to change around these little coffee cups and their sleeves to some cute colors. Usually I take more time to kind of maybe put together a theme for the whole sheet of stickers that I'm going to print, but I just decided to throw this video together and show you guys really quickly, so it's still going to end up being a super long video. Sorry about that. But so I'm just choosing the colors here, and you could choose custom colors. There is a custom color picker, and if you have more skill with those things, you might know the color codes, and you can use that to match colors like in your whole throughout your layout and thing. You'll see the little box with the numbers that change at the bottom. Those are color codes, and you could use that to have the colors match exactly throughout your spreads, or to create a whole theme of sticker sheet with coordinating colors. Now, this is an image I used just from the image library. You'll see I'm clicking on each one now, and I'm going to go over to this side here where it says slice, weld, attach, and I'm going to click flatten. What that's going to do is take the two pieces that are laid on top of each other, squish them down, and make them one piece. So you'll see that two just combined. So for each one I'm going to flatten them, and that's going to make it one solid piece printed. So you see it took all of them that were two pieces, squished them down, and each one is now one. Now I'm going to show you how to upload images where you can do quotes, or let's do a full pattern box. So I'm going to go to upload images this time instead of insert images, and it's going to take you to this screen that says basic upload and vector upload, and I'm just going to do a basic upload, and I have some digital papers on my desktop, so I'm going to select one of those in this digital papers file. You can find digital papers online. There's all kinds of free ones. If you just search for them on Pinterest, You can find tons of free ones. I just recommend you give credit to whoever when you use them. I use them for personal use, so I don't sell any of these in my shop. I did not design any of these papers. They are just things that I went online and downloaded for free. So I also do some digital scrapbooking for memory keeping. So I selected one, and it is a floral background, turquoise with floral background. You can do a simple image, a moderately complex or complex image. This shows how much detail it's trying to read in the image that it's putting on your page. I usually select moderately complex to complex depending on how busy it is. If it's just a single item, if you click between the two, you will see the difference in how much detail. So because this was kind of a busy floral, I did select complex. And I got a pop-up because these are supposed to be 12 by 12 pages. It is huge. So as you're doing this, please just be advised that the steps may take time depending on how complex your image is to get it loaded and on your mat to play with. You'll see here it says this picture was huge. And that's, again, it's a 12 by 12 page that you could print out. So it's going to now load that right into my image library. That's going to come up here in just a minute. Sorry, it's repeating because I thought that it maybe didn't get it because it was such a big file. Let's see. So here we go. I'm trying to get it. You see the select and erase in the side here. Right now there's a tool that if you had an image you needed to clean up, you could erase borders or things like that from around the edge. I didn't need that. And then as it's putting it in your library, you'll see it comes up with this side box that has some places where you can put keywords, and this makes it more searchable. If you have tons of images in your Cricut image library, you'll be able to find it easier if you tag it with something you think you would call it. So there are keywords and a title for the image. So I think for this one I just put in teal floral, and then I tagged it with teal and floral and roses so that if I was ever looking for something and I searched, I'd be able to find it more easily. Usually it puts the image up in that white space, and this is why I thought it did not do that, but I think it was because the image was so large that it didn't put it in there. There we go. Again, that picture was huge. Yes, I know. Okay, so here I am. I'm just putting in some tags to make it more searchable out of my image library. I just put in teal and rose and floral, and then I think I just named it teal rose floral. So that red box there made me think that maybe it did not work, but in a minute here it's going to pop up in my little image library where I can select it and put it on my mat. So, and you'll see on the bottom it says preserve original shape, and that's what I wanted to do. And there you see other things that I have uploaded, and I can just click on what I just uploaded here, and down in the bottom right hand corner it's going to say use this, and I say yes, I want to use it, and it puts it on my mat. Again, because it is kind of complicated, it takes a few minutes. So there it is. And now this is, I can just go in and edit the size to the exact dimensions that I want a full size box or a half size box to be in my planner. So those of you who follow me know that I use a cut down happy planner. So I'm going to make the image 1.5 inches wide, and I think in this case I make it 2.25 inches high because that will allow me to make header stickers and not include the header. So I unlock it here, you'll see, and that is, in some cases will skew the image, but it allows you to make it an exact custom size. So I make it 1.5 wide by 2.25 inch high. So 1.5 by 2.25, that's the size of a happy planner box, not including the header. Now I'm going to go to layers and make sure that it is on print, and I'm going to flatten it again, and that just squish it down right on your page. That's how I think about it, to make it a sticker. And I'm going to upload another one. So Usually if I was making a whole set, I would just go and find a bunch of coordinating papers that I liked together, and I would make some boxes, full-size boxes and half-size boxes to use on my planner. If you've seen any of my layouts, you'll see that I like to use on one side of the week a full-size box and on the other maybe a half-size box that I'll coordinate. So this one, since it's just a simple polka dot, all I did was select moderately complex. In that case, it shouldn't take so long. Again, a huge image because it is a 12 by 12 paper. So it's going to take a few minutes. And I don't need to clean up these images because they're made to be used as is, as a full-size paper. So here's those boxes again where I can name it. It's taking a few seconds to load in here. And then once it comes up, it's going to say that it wants to preserve the original shape. That's checked on the bottom. And that's why you'll see that red square. And that's what they recommend for print and cut. So I just leave that checked. And then here I'm putting in teal and dot to make it searchable. And I'm going to change this to say teal dot so I know what it is when I want to look for it. You guys, I'm sorry I didn't record my whole screen, but there on the bottom is a little, it just tells you to continue. So I just scroll down and click continue. And that's going to put this on my mat again by selecting it, scrolling down here, and adding insert image. Then I just drag it to place it and edit the size. Under edit, unlock it, 1.5 wide by 2.25 high. And now I'm just going to take these images and I'm going to make them half boxes simply by selecting them on the mat, Control C, which is copy, and Control V, which is paste, and that's going to give me duplicates. And then I can either leave them as full-size boxes, but I do believe in this case I'm going to go and make them smaller to make them half-size boxes. So if you make a mistake like I just did here, you can either go and fix it or just click undo and it takes you back one single step. So that's just what I did. And I'm going to make it 1.5 by 1.5 in a minute here and figure that out, that is exactly square. So that's what I'm going to do for both of them. Then I'm going to go back to the layers page. I'm going to make sure that everything is flattened. And that is, so if it's already flattened, it will say unflattened, and I don't want to do that. I just want to flatten everything. There we go. And now I like to select everything on the page here. I'm going to show you really quickly. You can also just make a simple shape, and I'm going to make some headers. Now I normally wouldn't print a header on a clear label sheet, but because that kind of defeats the purpose, but you can just take a basic shape and change the color and change it to print, and then you can resize that to the size your headers would be. I'm going to show you how you can put text on it too. So I went and made it a coordinating color to go with these boxes that I have, and I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to change the size to 1.5 wide by 0.25 high, and that's the size my header of Happy Planner would be. And then I'm gonna just make a bunch of them by Control C, and Control V is gonna just copy and paste that a number of times. And I just like to kind of lay things out how I want it to print. So I try to make them look a little bit nice. And I'm going to show you how you can take one of these headers and you can actually put lettering on it. So we're going to move one over here so it's easier to work with. We're going to click this add text, and you'll see a text box comes up, and you can just type whatever you want your header to say. I'm just going to do really quickly. As you type, it's going to bring up the edit, and I can tell you right now I do not like this Cricut alphabet font, so I'm just going to change that to one that I use pretty regularly. That's a cursive font. It's this baby steps. So I'm just going to click this scroll to this bar to scroll down. I'm going to select this baby steps, and then I'm going to go back and select under the layers. I'm going to select this. I'm going to change it to print, and I'm going to make it the color I want it to print. So you'll see that there's actually two there, but one's not showing, so you don't really need to worry about that. So I'm gonna make my my text brown, and I'm going to zoom in here so I can show you more easily how to work with it. I'm just going to kind of center it on the box here, and in a second here I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Okay, and then you want to select your text, and while you hold down the control command, you also want to select the box. And now that you have them both, you're going to click flatten together, and that's going to take them and combine them. And now it is one piece, and it is a to-do header. So you have the words right in there, and I'm just going to copy and paste this a few times because we could all use to-do stickers, right? And teal and brown look cute. I think that's October colors in my planner, so I'm going to put that on here a couple times. Okay, now I like to hit Control A is going to select everything on my mat, and I like to attach it so that when I go and hit the Go button, that green circle, which is going to take me to the print and cut, it keeps everything in the place where I put it. So you will see here in a second, it's going to come up as a preview on this mat. I'm going to change, you can select the number of times you want it to print. I'm just going to change it to 1. So see how it doesn't fill up the page? You could select a 2 there and make more. So you're going to see in a minute here, I'm going to go back because it's driving me crazy that those boxes don't line up very well. Here I want to show you that there is something called bleed for print and cut, and if that is selected, you'll see how all the boxes kind of blur together. And this is if your machine is not calibrated, or if your cut is a little bit off, you will have no white space. The bleed makes it so that the color runs edge to edge, and it makes sure that the machine will cut within the bleed. I think that the images maybe look messy on the sheet when you do this. So I normally leave the bleed off because my machine is calibrated and I know that it will cut the images nice and clearly. But if you leave the bleed on, that's kind of like a mistake proof in case your machine doesn't cut very well. So you'll see these boxes don't line up. I'm just going to go back here and I'm gonna select them and detach them and move them so they line up a little bit better. And then I'm going to go and attach them again by Control A, selects everything on your mat, click attach, and that will keep it where you put it when it goes to the preview screen to print. So this is going to show you a preview of what it's going to look like when it prints. So sometimes it takes a few minutes. The more complex your images are, the longer this step might take. But there it is, and you will see those little black things in the corner are what are called registration marks, and that makes it so your machine can read these here, make it so that the Cricut will read those to determine where to cut. So now is when you want to load your sticker paper into your printer. And on the bottom right hand corner, again, I don't think I recorded it very well. you're going to click Print and Go. Sorry guys, this is me trying to get my QuickTime screen recording to work. So I need to pay for my image here. Okay, so here I'm ready to print. You want to load your sticker paper into your printer and click OK. It's going to ask you how many copies. Make sure that you know your printer settings and whether you put how to load your sticker paper in. You don't want to waste sticker paper printing on the wrong side of the paper. Learned that the hard way. So now it's going to go to your printer and print.
Okay, so here are the stickers that I printed on my home printer. I just have an HP Officejet Pro. So there's what they look like. We're going to take them over to the Cricut. We're going to pop them in the machine and you're going to see how it cuts them. Here we go. Okay, so you'll see this little light is flashing. This is going to tell you that our Cricut is ready and waiting for you to load the mat. Now to do stickers, because I use this full sheet label, you'll see that it's kind of spliced in the back. So I like to use a mat that is pretty well used and not too sticky, so it's not going to cause my stickers to split open. So you're just going to take your sticker paper and line it up on your mat here, and you want to get it really nicely on the edges. So let's do that. And just press it down. You guys want to see something funny? I said this is the part where you would like to make sure you load your sticker paper, and I didn't do that, so I had to reprint it. There is a button right on the screen that's going to say reprint after you print, so I had to reprint it on the sticker paper. So you want to make sure that it is nice and smooth on there, no air bubbles underneath, otherwise that's going to mess up your cut. You're going to set your dial to custom.
So here's what your screen's going to look like when it's telling you to load the mat, where you hit that little double arrow button, feeds your sticker sheet in. Set is on custom and it's set to 3M Post-it notes. So that is what I use to cut through my label paper, 3M.
Now you're going to see that this little C here is flashing and it's telling you it's ready to cut. Since your dial is set to custom, I use the setting that is 3M Post-it notes because that will give me more like the kiss cut that doesn't cut all the way through. Now, I close the top of this, my Cricut machine, because you'll see a little light here that's going to come on that needs to read these registration marks. Sometimes it has a hard time. Sometimes I actually even turn my overhead light off. So let's try it this way and let's see if it gets it. This part sometimes takes a little bit of time. Done. This little light, this is the unload light, is going to blink at you. You just press that to unload your mat and gently lift your label away. Normally I would have printed more sets on here, but that's okay. It's just one label. And you will see sorry. Let's see if we can get one of these guys off so you can see what it looks like. Because I had that air bubble, I had that air bubble in my mat, so it didn't cut very nicely at a certain part, but there you go. That's how I do it. So if you guys have any questions, just leave me questions or comments in the link below. In the comment section below, and I will do the best I can to answer them. Thanks for watching, everybody.